All right, guys. So there are going to be four different things that we end up talking about tonight. And there we go. Now I can see everybody. Okay. So these are going to be kind of your webcam model basics. And we're going to go over things you need to have ready in the beginning, how to kind of set yourself up and get yourself ready so that you're not like jumping into it and not being prepared at all. So move you guys over. All right. So the first thing that is really important, like I said, is to set yourself up. So in the very beginning, you guys know that you have already created your stage name. But another thing that some people don't think about is creating an alter ego. It's really important that your identity is kept private and that the people that see you online know nothing about your personal life. So, kind of creating an alter ego or like a story is super helpful. So, for me, obviously, I have a stage name and I tell people that I have one kid instead of two. I never tell people where I live. I always say that I'm from the Midwest, but I don't even give them a state. Like I don't give them an exact state whatsoever. Some people do. Some people just say that they live in another state. That's fine. But I highly suggest not telling people where you live because unfortunately there are creepers out there that will try and find you. Luckily, I haven't had that yet, but it happens. So try and protect yourself as best as you can. And make sure that whatever story you go with, you can create a fake job, whatever. Make sure you stick with it because you will have customers that come back and you don't want to confuse them if you're, telling a different story. So just make sure that you have a story and you stick to it. The next thing is going to be your cam space. So some things that are really, really important to have set up is your lighting. So right now, you guys can see my face clearly. I have my kitchen light on. I have a lamp, and I have another lamp over here. And this is like the perfect lighting right now. You really don't want to go any darker than this. And we have a lot of people who will set up like studio lights. You can even get them on Amazon, but that just makes your show even better. Your clients aren't going to want to pay you if they can't see you. So make sure that your lighting's good. Have your coaches check your lighting. They can always get on and watch you and, see if your lighting's okay. The next is the background. It is really, really important that wherever you're camming, that it looks clean and presentable and cozy. You don't want like bottles and trash laying around. You don't want it to look like your bedroom is a mess. That's just not appealing. You guys need to think of it as like a storefront. So when people are getting on these sites, they're browsing through the models and they can see little glimpses of what your room looks like. If it looks gross and not appealing, they're not going to sit there and watch you. That's just a fact. Like people don't find that attractive. So try and make sure that it's either like really plain like this. Like I normally don't cam on my couch, but like in my bedroom, I have this really pretty tapestry hung above my bed. I have decorative pillows. I have lights strung. It's just a warm, inviting place. And I feel like my viewers really enjoy that. It just creates a whole nother mood for my show. So you really want to put some effort into your background. If you can't go all out and decorate, at least make sure you clean up. The next thing is going to be music. So this really does make a difference, guys. You don't have to be like blaring music, but turn music on like on your computer or on a speaker next to you and have it playing because there's nothing more awkward than silence. When people hop into your room, if you're not sitting there, talking, it's going to be quiet and it's just going to be awkward. So feel free to turn music on, turn on something that you really like and that you can like move to. They are totally fine with you dancing and singing. You don't have to be talking to them the entire time. Go ahead and, turn some Spotify or Pandora on. The next thing is going to be your camera angle. Now right now, I'm like super close to my camera. Normally, I'm not this close because it's kind of intimidating. If you're like right up in their face, they're like, whoa, that girl's really close. So my suggestion is to move your camera back far enough to where like you can still see your screen, but or close enough to where you can still see your screen, but far enough to where they can see your entire body. So if they can see everything, then they're going to be tipping more. They're going to be asking, to see more, and altogether, you're going to have more people interested and more people coming in your room. So if you are camming this close away, you're not really showing off much, and it's not really enticing. So try and move your camera back. Try out some different angles. You could always have, your camera up here to where they're getting a different angle, but definitely don't have it right in front of your face. The next thing is going to be in advance, let your followers know that you're going to be working. So most of you guys will end up having like a Twitter set up, maybe a Snapchat. You may already be on Skype. Go ahead and reach out to any followers that you have. If you're new, you may not have followers yet, but eventually you will. And just let them know when you're going to be online. It makes them feel special. It makes them feel like you've been thinking about them. And it's definitely going to bring in consistent, loyal clients. Next thing, so important, and this will save you a lot of hassle, guys. Do a system check. Make sure your Wi-Fi is strong. Make sure your computer is restarted and all ready to go, and make sure your camera is working properly. I cannot tell you how many times in the very beginning I would have one of those three things fail on me and interrupt my show. Not only does it suck for you, but it also kicks people out of your room, and then they're more than likely not going to come back. So you're losing viewers when your technology fails on you. So just make sure that everything's good to go before you start. Let's see. All right, we're going to move on. So hopefully I don't have you guys on here for the full hour. But if anybody has any questions about all of that, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that you guys can go ahead and make sure that you're muted. I think I got everybody in here. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and make sure you guys are muted. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat box. Let me pull up our chat box real quick. Okay. There we go. Next thing is going to be things that you should have on hand before you get online. I was really bad about making sure that I was prepared before I broadcasted, and I would always have to go and run and get things. So put together, not really a bag, but just have some things set to the side that you're going to need during your show. So you can see we've got toys and lube, heels, and lingerie. Those are like the top things that people ask for when you're on cam. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be asked to have all of those. So just make sure you have them. People like for you to be able to change into different outfits, especially when they take you private. Look, she's already got all of her heels. Allie's got a whole thing of heels over there. That's awesome. Some things that you may have not thought about that you may end up needing. Wipes and a towel. Sometimes you need to wipe things up. So go ahead and have a towel next to you. Lipstick and extra makeup. Guys, definitely don't mind if you're like touching up your makeup while you're on cam. That's totally fine. A drink. you're going to need it. If you're sitting here talking for 5 hours, I promise you, you're going to need something to drink. And you really don't want to get away from the cam. Try and limit how many times you step out of the camera, because one, that's rude. Two, you could get in trouble with the cam site, believe it or not. If they see that you're not on cam, you can get in trouble. And three, it just interrupts your show. So make sure you guys have everything ready before you start working. Another thing that we recommend that you have is our contact information, so know how to get in touch with one of your coaches, just in case you need us while you're broadcasting. And then another thing that is helpful is if like you have your Skype and your Snapchat and all that stuff, know your names. So if someone asks you for your Skype or whatever, make sure that you have your name memorized. I know it sounds silly, but when I first like created my accounts, I was like, oh wait, what is my Skype name? I don't know. So you can like write it down or like put it on a sticky note or something and put it on your computer. That way you're not like trying to remember what all of that is. So those are just some good things to make sure that you have ready. Anybody have any questions? You guys can always like take notes and ask questions later if you want. All right, so here we're gonna dive into camming itself. So what to do when you're on cam. In this industry, as a webcam model, your biggest job is to know how to talk and know how to make connections with people. You guys obviously know how to flirt. That comes naturally for most of you guys. You know how to, get the toys out and have fun. That's the easy part. The hard part is talking to people, making a connection with them, and getting them to tip you. So, our job is to teach you how to do these things, and we want to teach you how to not just get on and talk to random people, but how to get people to come back and watch you, how to gain loyal clients and keep these people coming back to watch you every single time you get on. So when it comes to talking to people, some of the most important things are going to be asking for tips without begging. The most annoying thing that you can do, guys, is like straight up asking for tips. And believe it or not, I have heard people be like, come on guys, let's get those tips going. Or you'd be like, I really appreciate some tips. Don't do that. Don't do that. That just sounds desperate. That's the word I'm looking for. Desperate. Try not to sound like you need the money. Try not to sound like you're just on there for money. You really want these people to feel like they're important and to feel like you're on there for them because you want to talk to them. So there are other ways to ask people to tip you, but don't just straight out ask them for tips. If someone asks you to do something, you guys could be like, well, show me some love, or I'd love to do that. Why don't you take me private? That's seriously the best way to answer somebody who has a request. You can just be like, I would love to do that for you. Do you want to take me private? So the tone of your voice matters. So if you guys are sitting there with a monotone voice like this, no one's going to want to talk to you. You got to act like you want to be there and that you're excited to see everybody that's in your room, and show them that you know how to flirt. Hold on, guys. Hey, Caitlin. All right, I'm going to go ahead and mute you guys. There we go. Okay. So just make sure that you're smiling and happy and that you have good tone to your voice. Next is flirting with authority. So, like I said, there's a good way to ask people to tip you for things. Obviously, you guys have like a tip menu when you're on Chatterbait, but on StreamRay or StreamMates, you don't have that. So when someone says, can you do this? Just make sure that you are letting them know that you don't do things for free. Hold on. Let's see. Sorry, guys, I'm reading these questions. Okay, so it totally depends on what site you're on. I'm going to go ahead and read these questions. Okay, so about Skype. You guys, when you're on Chatterbait, you guys can give people your Skype and your Snapchat, but they do have to pay through your studio. So you guys are not allowed to take any outside payments. So make sure that you do have the studio's PayPal. You're gonna send, have these people send the payment to us, and we'll confirm it for you, and then you can take the Skype shows. Skype. Yeah. Yep. So we're working on getting everybody. Yes. So basically, your clients are going to pay the studio, and then that payment gets added to your paycheck. Hopefully that answered that for you. If you're on StreamRay or StreamMates, you cannot like type out any of your Skype or your email or anything like that. You can say it verbally, like if you're in a private chat with that person, you can say it verbally, but it will not allow you to type it out. Please make sure that you're not doing that because it could get you banned from the site. And if you guys have any other questions about social media or anything like that, Chris and I would absolutely be happy to help you make sure that you get everything set up correctly and that you're doing everything right. So, and the reason that we make you have your clients pay us is because if you are sending and receiving payments with like a personal account, that's a really easy way for people to track you. So we want to make sure that you're staying protected. Yeah, you could do that. I would still be careful with that though, because there are moderators on those sites that are watching. So they're not always listening, but they are watching. So, and one of their huge rules is to not be giving away third-party sites. So just be super careful with that. All right, guys, we're gonna move on. Okay, last point on how to talk to clients. And I know this sounds silly, but try not to ever say no. Obviously, we don't want you guys doing anything that's out of your comfort zone or that you don't feel confident doing. But if it is something that you're willing to try or something that you might do in private, kind of find a different way to say it. So, like if someone asks you to do anal play, you could be like, well, I've never done that, but maybe you could take me private and you could teach me how. Or if it's you really don't want to do it, if it's something you absolutely don't want to do, just be like, I'm probably not going to do that tonight's show, guys, but maybe later. Or maybe you could help me become more confident in that. Just No, honestly, the word no when you're camming is such a turnoff, and it's a quote unquote boner killer. It's the easiest way to get people to log out of your room. It really is. And as much weird requests and things that we have from people, it's really easy to say, no, I don't do that. But not only for the person asking the question, but also for other people. Like I said, it's just, you come off as a prude. And, it's totally fine to not want to do things and to turn down requests, but just try to find a way to let them down easy, instead of just straight out saying no. Let's see. Okay. So one of the biggest things for you guys to be able to know how to do, there we go, is to get people from free chat to private chat. This is how you're going to be making your money. So you obviously get tips in public chat, but it doesn't even come close to the money that you're making in private chat. So you want to take as many private chats as you possibly can. So how do you get people to take you to private chat? What's the secret? Something you need to know, and that your customers need to know, is that we don't talk for free. If they want your attention, they need to pay for it. Let me answer these questions. Yeah, that's a really good answer. I don't knock it until I try it. Good answer. Curve Queen, you'll have to talk to Chris about that. I don't know. That would be something to discuss with him. Pole dance, can I use that in my shows if people notice I have it? Absolutely. Yes. Yes, Allie. Absolutely pole dance. That's awesome. I have quite a bit of models who used to be dancers, and they kind of put on a dance like on their couch, or they find a chair or on their bed, and people go crazy over it. So absolutely use that to your advantage. All right, back to this topic. So like you said, we don't talk for free. So when it comes to personal messages, make sure you guys are charging 30 tokens for personal messages. It should be set up in your tip menu, but if you're on StreamRay or StreamMate, you won't have that tip menu. So that is literally the only thing that you guys should be saying you need to tip for that about. So if someone says, hey, PM me, or can you message me about a private, you can either say, check out my tip menu, or you can say, I'd be happy to message you for 30 tokens. So don't entertain the freeloaders, guys. It's not worth it. You're just wasting your time. Because if you're paying attention to the people who aren't tipping you, then you are losing money from the people who do plan on tipping you. So greeting members and finding out what they like. Really, really important. Our general rule is that you should give people 3 to 5 responses. So they should be able to type to you 3 to 5 times. You should respond to them. And if by the 5th time they have not taken you private, I would stop responding. So you can greet them, kind of find out what they're interested in, and flirt with them a little within those 5 responses. If you go any further than that and they haven't tipped you, or they're not taking you private, they're wasting your time. So don't go on and on and on and on with somebody who's not tipping you guys. Move on to the next person. And what comes next, if someone is wasting your time, if they're being obnoxious, if they're being rude, If they're just hanging out in there for a really long time and not tipping you, it's time to cut them off and kick them out. You guys know that you have the option to block people, and you know, we try not to be rude, and we try to welcome and be accepting of everybody that comes in our rooms, but sometimes enough is enough and we just gotta kick them out. It is what it is. Next thing is going to be how to, once you've gotten them in private, how to keep them longer in private. I would say the most important thing is if you aren't showing them something, you need to be talking to them. Don't just sit there and quiet. Um, you know, people want to know that they're spending their money wisely. So, or that, you know, it's worth their money. So make sure that, sorry guys, make sure that, like I said, you're either showing them something, that you're physically doing something, or that you're talking to them. Because if you're not doing that, they're going to leave and you're going to lose money. So make sure we don't have any questions down here. Okay, does Chaturbate have a tip menu? Okay, so you can either have the tip menu going, or you can do roll the dice, or you can do both. It's totally up to you. Roll the dice, really, really good app to have going, really good. If you don't want to roll the dice, you can just have your tip menu and maybe like a notifier going. And if you don't have either of those, let us know so that we can make sure that gets set up for you. No problem. I mean, once you guys are on those sites long enough, you'll figure out how to get your apps and bots going, and you'll figure out how to change them if you want to. So in the beginning, we normally set them up for you, but feel free to like mess with them and kind of tweak them and stuff. You can always change like what's in them. Like if in your tip menu, you can change what's in your tip menu. So if you're not sure how to do that, you can always give us a call and we can get on there and help you with it. So, does anybody have any questions about talking to clients? Like I said, that's seriously the most important part about camming, guys. People want to know that, you know, that you really do want to talk to them. A lot of these people, honestly, are single guys who just can't get a girlfriend, guys whose wives, you know, aren't giving them enough time or whatever it may be. And they're coming to you because they're craving something. They're coming to you because they want that attention. So it's so important that you guys are, you know, treating your clients the best way possible, that you're building a connection with them, and that you're getting them to come back. Let's see. I don't know who is in here who's new, or if there's anybody in here who has been camming for a while. But if you have, yes, Caitlin. I have the same thing. I have guys who just want to take me private so that they can talk to me. They just want somebody to talk to. A lot of the times, you know, they aren't wanting you to put on some like crazy, extravagant show. They just want someone to talk to. So if you guys are good at talking to people and opening up and, you know, just being yourself, that's the easiest way to build connections with people. Let's see, has anybody else had any like complications or troubles or roadblocks that they've come into so far. If you guys have, feel free to drop them in the chat box so we can answer any questions you guys have. And we can always set up one-on-one trainings for you guys. I know we like do your initial training, but we're available to you guys way more than that. So if you guys ever want to Skype or do a training call, feel free to let us know. And if Chris isn't available, I'm available, and vice versa. If I'm not free, Chris is free. So, all right, guys. I'm not seeing any more questions pop up. So I think we're probably going to wrap it up. Let's see. Okay, we got some questions coming up here. Is getting a business conference cam better for nicer quality? So I can put my camera in a different angle without. Yes. I would highly suggest recommending. Can't talk tonight, guys. I would highly recommend getting a Logitech cam. You can get them from Amazon. You can get them from Walmart. They're super cheap. Pretty sure mine was like 30 bucks and it's HD. It's the Logitech. Hell, I don't know. It's one of their like lower models and it works great. Webcamgirls.com. Yep. Yeah, Staples has them, Office Depot, Best Buy, places like that have them. Absolutely. Okay, so you guys are so welcome. I really appreciate you guys getting on and being on this call. Our plan for you guys is to have a call for our experience models every Wednesday. So if you are new, welcome. If you've been with us for a little bit, we love you so much and we're so happy that you're on our team. And we're going to start covering a different topic every Wednesday. So make sure that you guys look out for that. Look out for the invitation for that. But tonight was just kind of the CAM basics and some things that you should have prepared for when you CAM. But other than that, I think that is everything, guys. So if anybody has any more questions, reach out to either me or Chris. Like I said, we'll do some one-on-one calls and let us know if you need anything, guys. So everybody have a good night and we'll see y'all later. Bye.